What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream on this Monday. Apologies, people, I'm moving on mad Jamaican time today, so my apologies, but it's Monday. I was running around like a madman, I can't lie. I've been doing all sorts of errands this morning. But good to be back, great to be back. Hope you're all having a great start to the week. Lovely week here in the UK, weather-wise, and delighted to be here, people. Big up the see unit, the legendary community as always. Big up to each and every one of you. And a great start to the week, people. Arsenal won their first game on Friday, beat Crystal Palace 2-0. And listen, it was a great start. I think every Arsenal fan would have taken a 2-0 victory before the game. And then we go into Granit Xhaka mode, people. I'll call it Yuri Tielemans mode soon because the speed with which we're doing that deal is slower than anything I've ever seen. I can't lie, people. But listen, big up to... Oh, there we go. We're back. I'm hoping we're back. Why is the internet playing up like that? Monday morning business, people. Apologies. But yeah, listen, great to be back and looking forward to another good week. And if the weekend wasn't good enough for you, I'm sorry to say this, Man United fans, but kind of enjoyed watching Danny Welbeck look like prime Didier Drogba yesterday, running wild at Old Trafford. I can't lie, people. Lisandro Martinez getting peppered by Danny Welbeck, maybe we dodged a bullet there, people. I can't lie, people. It is what it is. But yeah, I had to banter my Man United mates, and it's an interesting one. Man United have agreed a deal for Rabiot this morning, who is a player that's been linked with Arsenal a few times. Not sure he's the answer for Man United, but hey, that's their issue. And listen, maybe he'll do well there. Arnautovic as well, he's about 31, 32. But listen, that guy Welbs was on smoke yesterday, and I loved it, people. But listen, good weekend for Arsenal. We won our game on Friday. We played well. I don't think it was the perfect performance. Anyone who hasn't seen the player ratings video that I did yesterday, go and have a look at that one. We spoke about the player ratings. Pretty much everyone got decent ratings, probably apart from Martin Odegaard. And I just want to say, because some people are saying, oh, you're being too harsh on him, blah, blah, blah. I want to make clear that it's not all Martin Odegaard's fault, because at the end of the day, we should know what kind of player he is, and we should understand when and where we should play him. My question to Mikel Arteta would probably be, should he have been named the captain in the first place? Should he have been named captain? Oh, it's a sweatbox in here again. Should he have been named the captain in the first place? Because to me, I don't see a huge amount of captain material in him, without being disrespectful. Should Odegaard have just been left to concentrate on his game? And if a number 10 is the captain, I think you've got to be an unbelievable player where at times you're a match winner and you lead that way. I like Odegaard as a player. I think he's a good weapon to have. I don't think he's a guaranteed player every week that you should be starting, because with games like Palace, games like Newcastle away, I don't think they're games that he does that much in. So for him to be the captain, I feel like you've put yourself in a position. I felt like Arteta wanted to take him off earlier, but because he was the captain, he didn't want to take him off. But listen, we'll let it develop. We'll see how it goes. There's no need to panic, that is for sure. If we'd lost the game and Arsenal therapy and all that, it would have been different. But yeah, no need to press the panic button. I think the positives of that game, obviously William Saliba was absolutely outstanding. And listen, I don't want to get carried away with him, but I think he's got potential to be one of the best centre-backs in world football. I don't think there's a centre-back in his early 20s that is much better than him, if there is one. He's definitely within that bracket of best young centre-backs. It's about developing him and turning him into what he can be. Granit Xhaka said, let's be serious, I should be captain. To be honest, he got the armband anyway. And from what I've heard of people, Xhaka is the leader in the dressing room. Whether we like that or not, I hear he is the man who kind of leads things since Aubameyang left. So, he probably is the captain without having the armband on, really. Odegaard needs some help. To get the best out of a number 10, You've got to get the ball to him quickly. It's no coincidence. Mesut Ozil's best spell at Arsenal, in my opinion, was when Santi Cazorla started balling. Because you had the centre midfielder that could load it for him and give it to him early. And then Ozil would get the ball and do damage, go and find Giroud, Walcott, Sanchez. I still look at our midfield with Xhaka and Partey. I don't think we have anyone like Cazorla that gets the ball to Martin Odegaard early enough. And that's probably where we don't see the best out of him yet. We don't have an obvious leader. Like Bildad said, who would you have captained? It's not easy to even see the captain in this Arsenal team. Gabriel has some leadership qualities, but is he too young and inexperienced to be the captain? Tierney, a lot of people said him. But you look at him in that documentary, he didn't seem to be somebody that would want that responsibility. I think Ramsdale is a leader, but I'm not the biggest fan of goalkeepers as captain, so we don't have an obvious choice, if I'm being totally honest. I think Ramsdale and Granit Xhaka are the two captains, if I'm being totally honest. But like I said, Ramsdale, goalkeeper captain's not ideal. Xhaka doesn't want the armband from what we've heard. So we'll have to see. Listen, I think nowadays the armband isn't as important as it used to be when it was Vieira and Adams and that. I think you just lead together as a collective, and whoever's got the armband has got it. But listen, great start to the weekend. Liverpool drew with Fulham. That was a big shock. Man United got dealt with by Brighton and got kind of bopped as well. It was a bit of a shock. I called Ten Hag 10 fraud, but to be honest, it's banter. He hasn't got his team yet. It's way too early to judge him. Tottenham, Chelsea, Man City won. Haaland got 2 goals. As I said the other day, it's a cheat code. I think Haaland wins the Golden Boot this season. He's going to score hatfuls. He really is. He's going to score hatfuls of goals. He hasn't even settled in yet. And it's an actual cheat code. That is literally Grand Theft Auto. You've got a wanted level. And up, down, left, right, R1, R2. If you know, people. So it is what it is. But yeah, listen, exciting start. Good that we won. Big up KG in the chat. Leeds won. Leeds looked decent as well. Leeds did look decent. Good win against Wolves, man. So big them up. And that's pretty much the headline news of the weekend. I think Man United came out of that weekend and panicked and put an offer in for an Arnautovic and Rabiot, which don't strike me as Man United level signings, if I'm being honest. If Rabiot and Arnautovic went to West Ham or Newcastle or Everton, you wouldn't be like, wow, they're way too good for them. I'm not sure they are Man United level players, but that's where they are, people. Leeds manager is better than Arteta. It's too early to say that. Curtis, you had a bad start on FPL. Yeah, we'll talk about it at the end of the season. Curtis, I would like to show you something. Hit me up, curtisshawtv@hotmail.com, people. Anyone wants to reach out, any business stuff, if you're an editor, music, anything to do that you think can help the channel, curtisshawtv@hotmail.com. Big up Guna Tobbs. Brazy said, we're going to Villarreal asking for Jeremy Pino. Why not just get Don Juma for roughly the same price? Right, let's get into... do you know what? Let's get the press conference reaction out the way. Then we'll look ahead to transfers. So let's get into waffle settings, although it was some good waffles this weekend. So we'll let him off. I ain't going to diss him. Good win for Arteta, a place that we got battered last season. So to go there and get a 2-0 win is excellent. Yeah, man, tell him, Oz, man. FPL's a marathon. We've all watched, them 10,000 meters where the brother's up top, man. He's dominating. You're like, yo, this guy's 50 yards clear. He's won the gold. And the bell rings and they get to that bend and some guy who's in like 5th place just goes right up into 5th gear, bang, and just starts sprinting. That's what I'm on. Man's telling me he's top of the league after week 1. Just calm. I'll be there at the end. Don't worry. I'm just biding my time. When the bell rings, I'm sprinting on that last lap. No playing around, people. So, yeah, man. But listen, big up to everyone tuned in, by the way. Over 1,000 of you already. Make sure you lick down that like button and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. First watch along of the season. Let me go full screen. First watch along of the season. Unbelievable numbers. We outperform the size of this channel. The numbers we're getting for watch alongs are like channels that have got 200,000 subscribers. So I have to thank you each and every time. You know, great fun, great win. Leicester on Saturday. Let's have a great season, people. Right, let me get back into the waffle settings, people. It's lunchtime. You're probably peckish. Arteta on the win, Saliba and our resilience. I tell you what, Mikel Arteta is going to have a headache in a week or two because, let's be honest, Ben White was his signing. He paid £50 million for him. And you look at that Saliba performance, there's no way on earth you can drop him. I don't care who you've got waiting in the background. He can't be dropped. I don't want to get carried away because I've bigged up Gabriel a lot over the last year. The way they look at the moment, and it might be too early to say this, but Saliba looks to me as if he's going to be our best defender. And I mean defender, left back, right back, centre back, the best defender at the club. He is the modern day centre back. You would pay £70 million for him if you bought him now. In the French squad, 21 years of age, 6'3". It's a madness. You know, John Stones went for 50 million from Everton. You know, Maguire cost 75 million from Leicester. You're talking about a 70 million plus centre back. What does Mikel Arteta do once Tomiyasu's back? Because even though Ben White had a good game, he still, to me, is not the answer at right back. He got away with it the other night against Zaha. He did well. It was a very good performance. But, you know, on another night, that goes different. That little ball that got played through to Eze, which was him out of position at right back. If he scores that, we're having a different conversation. So what happens once Tomiyasu comes back? Ben White, for me, goes on the bench. I'm sorry, this is what big clubs are supposed to do. You can't feel like, oh, because he costs 50 million, he has to play. No, you're not the best two centre-backs at the club at the moment. It's great competition, and I think that's a positive. But it'll be interesting if Arteta goes with his guy Ben White, because you know when managers buy players, usually they favour them. So let's see. K Guna said, who's better, Saliba or Fofana? Listen, right now I'm rocking with the boy Saliba, man. And that's taking nothing away from Fofana. I think he's a top quality centre-back, and I can see why Chelsea want him. But Saliba's got everything. He's tall, he's strong, he's quick, he's good on the ball. It's going to be a long season. I don't really want to completely say where Saliba is. Let me judge Saliba when he's played against Kane, when he's played against Salah, when he's played against Haaland. You know, levels go higher there, and you've got to deal with something totally different. But Saliba's unbelievable potential at this moment. But Fofana, very good as well. Sports Network said Tomiyasu better play regularly. Signed him up early for fantasy. I hope so. That brother needs to stay fit. Obviously, he played on Saturday for Arsenal under-21s. They beat Man United under-21s 3-1. Marquinhos played in that game, got an assist. And Tomiyasu played in that game as well. It'll be interesting what happens with Marquinhos. Let's get into this anyway, people. Let's hear what he had to say. I'm sure he was delighted. And listen, I'll be the first one to say this. I say this all the time, and I hope everyone, you know, hears me when I'm saying this. I hope Mikel Arteta shuts me up this season. Clip it. I want the best for Arsenal Football Club. You want stability at your football club. I hope he can get it right. I've never been his biggest fan, but I can see that he wants to do well, and I can see he's trying, and I hope it works for Mikel Arteta, because we look like we've got a good team spirit. They're buying into the way he wants to play. You saw that first 30 minutes. He clearly has a plan. You watched Manchester United yesterday against Brighton. Man United are a far better team than Brighton. The difference is they have no plan of how to play. Brighton have a clear image. Look at the football that Brighton are playing. They've sold their two best players in Cucurella and Basuma, yet they're bopping Man United all over the place. They ain't got a better team. They have a system. Once you've got a system, the players can implement it. That's when you go sky high. So I actually really hope it works out for him. Like Heaven Angel says, Arsenal in, not Arteta in. I just want whatever's best for Arsenal. If he's the manager, then so be it. Mr. U, big up. He said Marquinhos scored. I wasn't even aware of that. I knew he got an assist. I didn't know he scored, so big him up. Going to be interesting whether Marquinhos stays or gets loaned out, that's for sure. Potter for England. Listen, he's a better manager, in my opinion, than Gareth Southgate. I think Southgate is a very, very average manager. And he should have won a trophy with that group of players that he's had. Maybe he's lifted the team spirit. But England don't play good football, in my opinion. And I think a lot of that's got to be down to the coach, in my opinion. Raul said if Arteta flops at Arsenal, I'd happily appoint Graham Potter. Lost Basuma Cucurella, still plays exotic football. Thing with Graham Potter, you know, fans love glamorous names. And he's not the most glamorous, but would the Arsenal job be deemed too big for him? Nimbo said, big up to the regular Twitch people. Big up the Twitch gang. Big up the YouTube gang. C-Unit business. You already know what time it is, people. Let's get into this waffle settings with Mikel Arteta. But again, I'm not disrespecting him. The man, you know, he started the season well. Finished the season well is what we want to see. Happy Independence Day to the Jamaicans for yesterday. Big up, big up, big up. Right, let's get into it. Arteta was full of praise for our show of resilience against a tough opponent on the opening night of the Premier League, on how pleased he was to the start of the season. If it's a long conference, we'll skip it. He said, yep, really pleased to be winning. 3 points, a clean sheet against a difficult opponent and a tough place. They got the people going, and as we expected, we're going to have tough periods in the match. We showed resilience to get them through it. And it is really positive the way we started. We started really sharp, really mobile and determined to play the way we wanted to. Overall positive, totally agree. First 30 minutes was fantastic. In my opinion, one thing I want to see in the development of this squad is once we go 1-0 up, can we finish games off? I felt like if we went 2-0 up in the first half or 10 minutes into the second half, I felt like Palace were gone. We kind of allowed them to grow back into the game, or maybe they just took the initiative away from us and grew into the game, which you do have to give some credit to them as well. So that's something I think we have to add. Graham Potterino, I'm telling you, if he was Brazilian, you know, Graham Aldo Potterino, he'd probably get the Arsenal job. But Graham Potter from down the road ain't the most glamorous. That's the problem. Henok said the mystery winger is Saint Maximum. That would be interesting. You know, we're all kind of waiting since Fabrizio Romano says, oh, Arsenal are going for this mystery winger. Saint Maximum, I'll be surprised if it was him. I've got to be honest. Sidemen for Fun said, I really love this channel. Big up, Curtis. I appreciate that. Big up, South London's finest. Smash the like button. Road to 100k, people. Onwards and upwards. Martin said, Curtis, finally understanding waffleese. I've learnt, man. I've learnt. I'm prime in waffle now. On whether the resilience was what pleased him the most, he said, yeah, because you don't win here without it. We experienced that last season. We started in a really different way than we did last season, but building that mentality and finding a way to go through those moments, finding a way to maintain clean sheets in this league is going to be vital for our success. We've managed to do that. Hopefully we can build confidence. On Saliba's performance, I mean, listen, William Saliba just looks special. It's funny that he could end up being our signing of the season, and we didn't actually sign him this season, but he is like a new signing because he's never played for us outside of a friendly against MK Dons. He said, you don't really see that at 21 years old. Debut in the Premier League against this opponent, physical players, and resolved that the situation the way he has done it, with that composure and calmness and with that presence. So big credit to the boy. I was calling him the boy as well, but I think I have to give him that credit that the man's a big man. He ain't no kid, that is for sure. So I have to give him that credit. He's a big man indeed, and he knows how to handle business. So looks to me like he could be a beast. Get the contract signed ASAP. I told you. Get him in the office. Say you don't leave until you put pen to paper. You need 70,000. You need 90,000. You want a Lambo? You need a big house? Whatever you need, I got you, bro. You don't leave this room until pen is on paper. 4-5 year contract. Don't let this guy keep playing like this, because your Madrids, your Barças, your Bayerns, your PSGs, they will sit up and take notice. And we ain't got time for that. Get this guy tied down. You're talking about a future superstar. Simple as that. On whether he would like to see the team get that second goal sooner. Yep, something I said. He said, yes, much sooner. Be more ruthless in front of goal, because we had a situation to finish them better, even in the second half as well. That's something that has to come. We have been scoring a lot of goals today. We lacked that. We didn't latch onto that final ball. We didn't finish enough actions. And then they had some transitions, moments. That's what they like to do. There were parts of the game that obviously have to do better. Listen, Mikel, we're starting to get on the same wavelength a little bit here. You know, I think you've been tuning into the channel. You know, I'm saying it. Score the second goal sooner. Yeah, man. Go on. I love to see it. Don't forget, this Thursday night, is it? Thursday night, the next 3 episodes of All or Nothing. So that's going to be fireworks with the Aubameyang episode, that is for sure. Although I don't think they'll show us everything we expect. On the first goal, on whether it was off the training ground, he said, I think all of the teams practice routines and ways to hurt the opponent in different ways, whether it's open play and set pieces, and obviously we work on that. It's funny, when Saka put that corner in, I was like, what is that? You know, Curtis Slip said, you both understand because you're both awful. Hey, relax. He's getting on my wavelength, you see. He's coming out of that waffle settings and he's now understanding what's going off. I could have told him this a long time ago. Listen, Mikel, I respect it. Yeah, man, become that manager that we all expect and hope. Well, hope more than expect. Get Kev with his machete in the same room as Saliba. You'll get the contract signed, I'm telling you. When Arteta asked why he didn't replace Xhaka after the yellow, Arteta said, I wouldn't replace Granit even if he got a red. His boy Granit, man. On whether there is a deliberate emphasis on being more attacking, he said, well, you need the players. Last year, the deficiency in the final third we had was not good enough. Woo. Shots fired. I mean, that is shots fired. I'm sorry. That's Aubameyang and Lacazette. One bullet each. Poof. We had deficiencies in the final third. Them deficiencies aren't there no more. Is that what you telling me, Mikel? I told you, Mickey Ross. No more deficiencies. Track 2 on the mixtape of Coleman Music. Lacazette and Aubameyang diss. No messing around. Man said them final third deficiencies aren't here no more. We got the players. We can press now. For the amount of situations that we created where those situations finish, it wasn't good enough. It was nowhere near the top teams. And we have to improve that. And still we have to do better. But you still feel the threat in the final third when we are there. That's something that is going to happen. And that will create fear to the opponents. Man's bringing fear to the opponents, you know. Jeez. Lacazette done all that running for him. No, think about it. Lacazette ran back into midfield every game for Arteta, so much that the man basically went bold at Arsenal. And man's just dished you and said, yo, man, them deficiencies. Look at Aubameyang. Have you seen a picture of Aubameyang at Barcelona in the last few weeks? The man's hairline's back here. You know what I mean? Man's got a 5 head right now. You know what I mean? That's the stress that these two have gone through playing up front for Arsenal. Man have had hair loss. And man's just said, yo, man, you little idiot boy who was holding us back last year. You're gone now. We got the electricity of Gabriel Jesus up here. Not them bold frauds, you know. Hey, I'm telling you, man, it's all mad. These men ran themselves into the ground so much they had hair loss. And man's dissed them. It is what it is, man. I'm on the... I'm there. I'm on it now. Listen, if Aubameyang has to hold a diss, then he can hold a diss as well. I don't care now. The gloves are off right now, yeah? The gloves are off. If them man have to lose here, they lose here. You get us in the Champions League. I want to hear the music. I want to see PSG at the Emirates. I want to see big boys sign for Arsenal. Whatever's necessary. Anything gets moved out the way right now, yeah? Lacquer, you bold fraud. Aubameyang... What did we used to call him? Odin Wengi, whatever. Man said, look what he did to Fran. Nah. Fran, I think Fran chose to go bold early, you know. He embraced the boldness. He embraced his inner 2-pack from young, you know. So nah, we can't be doing that to Fran. Lambomayang, yo, you lot are bad, you know. On Gabriel Jesus, man said, no, you're firing shots at Oba. He's gone now, man. You know what I mean? So, you know, you're with your missus for years. You break up with her. You play it down, don't you? What was she like? You go, she was a nightmare, mate. Nothing but stress. Couldn't wait to break up. You know, they don't know about the 2 weeks she was listening to soppy R&B tunes trying to get over her, but you don't make that public, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Oba's gone. Who cares, mate? Yo, man, he's washed up anyway. We move people. On Gabriel Jesus contributing to that, he said he was electric, really mobile, really determined, and really wanted to hurt the opponent. And he transmitted, there's that word, transmitted. He creates uncertainty and spaces and created movement for his teammates. It's great to have him. What a guy, mate. What a guy. Gabriel Jesus. He needs that goal, though. Does need that goal. You know, don't want him to go 3-4 games without notching. because all of a sudden people start, trying to diss him. We're not having that. So yeah, I want him to score at the weekend. On whether he said anything to Saliba before the game, I mean, what kind of question is that, by the way? All right, he's saying stand up if you hate Tottenham. Got no choice, have I? It's Monday. I saw the message. If I ever see the message, it's very difficult for me to avoid it, But it is what it is. Yeah, did you say anything to your player before the game? I mean, I'm pretty sure he would have had a team talk, mate. I wanted to let him be and let him play. That's the way we have tried to develop that player. Oh, maybe I got it wrong. He didn't say nothing to him. To sign him at 19 years old and bring him back 2 years later is something unusual. He has been so determined and willing to come here and now prove the point that he is ready. Now we are exposing the player in a really difficult environment where he can navigate and enjoy it being comfortable. So I got it totally wrong. You know what I mean? He actually never spoke to him. Let it be. Let it be. Da, 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 da. Let it be. Let it be. Man, just don't talk to Saliba. Man, you know what is? Saliba's just a big brother, I'm telling you. Arteta probably comes in the dressing room like, yo, right, listen, speak to Jesus. Jesus quite smalls in chair. Man just looks up at Saliba, says, oh, no, let me just leave him. Leave him to it. Man's moving like Debo, fam, in Friday, you just don't say nothing to him. So, yeah, I got it all wrong. He didn't say a word to him in the pre-match. So it is what it is, people. Big Saliba with no instructions. Just go and destroy them, Man's moving like Ivan Drago in Rocky. I must break you. Poof. Man ain't playing games, fam. I'm telling you. Anyway, let's move on. No team talk from Arteta to Saliba. You don't need no instructions. On what has changed about the squad to bring more resilience, he said, we have to build that even more. Those results help you to do that. It's what the big teams do. They find a way to win, and in difficult moments, they have to manage the game in a different way, and they do it. They turn to the press. They turn the press into a positive thing for the team, and we have managed to do that. I have to say, right, I think a lot of people have played down how big that victory is at Crystal Palace. Big teams will go to Palace and get beat this year, I promise you that. 100%. You will see one of the big six clubs go to Palace. At least one of them go there and get turned over. We handled those circumstances of that pressure very well. We really did. Have you heard Saliba speak? He speaks like a final boss in a get. Yo, he ain't playing. He ain't playing, fam. You know what I mean? Short and sweet and serious. No smiling. You know what I mean? He's not here to play games. The man said, listen, I've been on loan, for years. I've come here to just smash anything that comes near me. Zaha, bang, straight on the floor. Big French beast, mate. He ain't playing games. So, yeah, man, I'm on it. Man said Arteta's scared of him. I'm telling you, Saliba ain't no joke. Anything that comes near him. Yeah, man, Apollo Creed settings, man. You're getting punched. Gunnarola said, careful how you lot diss Odegaard might go to Chelsea. I know, I'm seeing Werner close to joining Leipzig. That makes me think they must have a striker lined up. Can't lie, if Odegaard goes Chelsea, I'm vexed. Don't want to see that because I think he'll notch. I think he'll score goals for them. All they need is a goal scorer. You look at Werner at Chelsea. As much as we all dissed him, look how many chances he got when he played through the middle with his movement. Problem was he just couldn't finish. I think Odegaard would finish. And he loves this manager as well. So I hope he doesn't go there. Spanish press saying Xavi doesn't want to sell him though. Big up Gunnarola for the super chat. Yeah, Zach, Man City drew there. Listen, they're going to beat teams this season at home. Big six except Man U. Listen, Nick, I said big six. Yeah, not Man United. Listen, I'm sorry. Man United fans will be fuming right now. You are still a big club, but you're moving like, you're moving like a side dish right now. I can't lie. Buying man like Arnautovic, who's, probably as old as my grandparents. I don't know. I thought Arnautovic retired. Didn't he move to China about 5 years ago from West Ham? I don't get that one. I think we found our new school, no-nonsense defender in Saliba. Listen, Saliba and Gabriel is just a great mix. It really is. Let me finish this press conference. Quite short, to be honest. On Ben White playing at right back, how we cope with Zaha. He did really well. We all know individually, even when you are toe-to-toe with him, how difficult it is to win the ball off Zaha. The way he tries to play the game is really tricky. Ben has the capacity to play in different positions, and that's a big plus for any player. End of press conference. Quite short and sweet, that waffle. Bit of maple syrup. A bit of ice cream on the side. Bit of fruit. Bang, get out of there. Job done. Not too full. Get yourself out of there. Job done. Bad Bath said, people downplay Palace when they took 5 points from City last season. Listen, as I said, a lot of people are saying, oh, you just beat Palace. For me, outside of the big six clubs in the Prem, Palace away is one of the hardest games in the Prem. They had the third best home record in the Premiership last year. They're no joke. I think we played them at the right time as well. I think we looked sharper than them. I think our pre-season probably pushed us to a higher level of fitness and sharpness than them. And I think bringing in 2 Manchester City players who've just got that Pep Guardiola thing about them, you know, Jesus never stops. Zinchenko's class on the ball, barely gave the ball away. I think you can just see that difference. Saliba looks like he's just hungry for success. He wants to go to the World Cup with France. So I think there's a different spirit and attitude about us. And that was a very big box to tick, Crystal Palace away. So keep it going. Great start to the season. Other clubs have dropped points. Let's handle our business. We've got a decent run of fixtures coming up as well. 2 of the promoted teams in the next 4 and 3 home games. Big up my brother Fran in the chat. He said, yes, community at the likes. Big up my brother. We'll link up sometime in the week, try and get a show done. I'll reach out to you later, actually. Big up Fran. Make sure you go and follow his channel as well. And follow his crypto channel. I know a lot of people want to know about crypto and stuff like that. Fran's got a very good second channel where he talks about that daily, so go and check that out. Blood Type Arsenal said, big up the ting. See, we got lucky. Palace missing Gallagher. Nah. I'm not doing that. Listen, football is fine margins. I watched the game back the day after, and listen, Edouard, header, 8 yards out, should score. Eze, one-on-one with the keeper, shocking finish. I'd be disappointed if I missed that. And the way he hit it, he had just no composure. But you've also got to give us credit. You know, Martinelli misses a sitter. First 10 minutes, should score. Martinelli then scores. Odegaard, 8-9 yards out, should shoot, doesn't shoot. So we had good chances as well. We could have scored 2 or 3 in that game. So I think I don't want to throw luck at us. Everything in football, you need an element of luck, that is for sure. Lisandro got spun by Danny Welbeck. Listen, Lisandro should have got sent off yesterday. He was on a yellow card. Barge Welbeck in the back. How it wasn't a penalty, I'll never know. We may have dodged a bullet, people. Listen, a lot of these players are great in certain leagues. The Premier League has no forgiveness for nobody. I've seen great players come to the Prem and get sent packing. Lisandro, yeah, you had 1 big year in Holland. He might get dealt with in the Prem. And next to Harry Maguire, I can't lie, could be a long season for Man United, but I'll leave them to worry about that. Josh says, I can't lie, Haaland looks scary. Listen, said it before, people. Haaland, for me, wins the Golden Boot this season. I don't say that lightly because I understand how good Salah and Harry Kane's numbers are. I think Haaland gets 30-plus goals this season if he stays fit in all competition. 20-plus in the Prem. He's going to take penalties. City get loads of penalties. De Bruyne is going to feed him like a baby in his arms, mate. If he stays fit, I think he wins the Golden Boot. He hasn't even settled in yet, and he already, you know, dealt with West Ham. And West Ham are no mugs, by the way. Conor Roller said, Big C, did you see Saliba's post-match interview? So unfazed, not here to over-celebrate, on to the next elite mentality. He's not playing games. What people have to understand, that brother's been through a heck of a lot in the last few years. You leave your home country as a teenager for this big dream, going to Arsenal, going to the Prem. You basically get slapped in the face by the manager, sent back to France, first loan. Second year, slapped in the face, sent back to France. He must have been a little bit embarrassed. Also lost a parent during that. Now, for anyone who's lost a parent, I'm sure you understand how painful that is. Probably one of the worst things you could ever go through. As a young teenager in a different country, you lose your parent and your dream is kind of slapped back in your face. He's come back here on his mentality is different. He ain't here to play games. He ain't celebrating. He ain't dabbing. You know, he's just here to, I'm here. I'm going to perform. I'm going to change my family's life. I'm going to get in that French squad. I'm going to go to the World Cup. And I'm going to show people what I'm about. His mentality for me is elite. I love the interview. It was cold. Ice cold. And that's what I want to see. Could have got carried away and believed his hype. But he knows, you know. Yeah, he lost his mum. I mean, you know, at that age to deal with that. Unbelievable mentality. Nick, man, condolences, man. Like I said, man, he's a serious guy, and I really hope he goes to the top because I think he's capable of it. Sen said Chelsea are interested in Adama. Why can't we buy Adama 10 million euros? Is it 10 million euros now? I mean, listen, I've said many times, people, for 10 million, I'd take a chance on him and just bench him. Use him as a super sub. He'd come to Arsenal. Them kind of man there are just live-wise off the bench. You bring Adama on for 20 minutes, it's carnage for you for 20. But we don't see him interested. Anyway, you know what? That's the game sorted. Great performance. Well done, Arteta. Well done to the team. Great start. Should be good this week as well because we're hoping Tomiyasu, Fabio Vieira and Smith Rowe are all available for Leicester. 3 big players to bring back into the squad. Now, let's talk transfers. Who are Arsenal going to sign? Because I will say something, people. And condolences to Clement as well, by the way, and anyone else in the chat who's put that in there, man. You know, we're community togetherness. So thoughts go out to all of you, man. One thing I would say is when I watched that game, I still looked at a team that I thought, okay, our team's pretty strong. Still think we need 1 or 2 upgrades and something else on the bench. Because I don't believe Mikel Arteta trusted his bench. I think we should have made changes earlier. And I think that he looked at a lot of those players and thought, I can't bring Reece Nelson on. I can't bring Pepe on. You know, I can't bring El Neni on. I don't think he genuinely trusted a lot of those players. So for me, we still have to go into the transfer market. Now, the main player we're being linked with today, people, is Wolves winger Pedro Neto. Now, I've got to be totally honest. I am a big fan of this guy. I think he's an absolute baller. The only thing I would say about Pedro Neto, doesn't score many goals. Now, I'm looking at his stats. His biggest goal scoring season is 5 Premier League goals. Not great. Not great. He's had 3 seasons in the Prem. Last season, he only made 13 appearances, was injured nearly the whole season with that knee injury. The year before, 31 games. The year before, 29. So he's had 2 full seasons in the Prem. Now, I think he's a super talent. I really do. I think he's got a massive future ahead of him. Now, like a lot of people saying, just signed a new 5-year contract. So to get him out of there, he's going to be expensive. The only thing that's interesting is they've just signed, is it Gonzalo Guedes from Valencia, who plays in the same position as him. Now, has he been brought in as competition or has he been brought in with the possibility of him being sold? Arsenal are being linked with him today. It's believed they're interested in him. It's believed they would want between 40 and 50 million to let him go. Now, give me your opinion. Would you pay, let's say 45 million. It just says between 40 and 50. So let's meet in the middle. 45 million. Would you pay 45 million for Pedro Neto? I think he's a very good player. I've said before, though, the knee injury that he had, I think maybe you've got to give him a little bit of time first to see if he's completely recovered from that, because he had a bad knee injury. And as much as I think he's a very, very silky baller, hasn't scored enough goals. But then again, people said that, you know, Jota didn't score that many goals. He went to Liverpool and kind of went to the next level. Neil said, get Adama for 10 million and 10 litres of baby oil. Yeah, you would need that. I've got to admit, for 10 million, I'd take Adama as a squad player. Harlex said the market is crazy nowadays, 100%. The market is all over the place. Let's get a poll up. First poll of the day. More polls than a strip club. Let's go. Would you pay 45 million for Pedro Neto? Will be the question, people. Let me throw that in there. And let me know. It's interesting that, and this is so typical of Arsenal, and I think most people are saying Arsenal need a centre mid. And yet we're being linked with wingers left, right and centre. It's like, you know, Arsene Wenger used to do it. Every year we needed a defensive midfielder and he'd go and buy another number 10 or a winger, you know, another lightweight player. Would you pay 45 million for Pedro Neto? This is where the market is at right now, people. It's overpriced. It's risky. Darren said pay it. The guy's a baller. The trick he done in the box on the weekend was rude. Oh, that trick was ferocious. It really was. Little 360 between the 2 defenders. Vertex said Harvey Barnes, good player. I think you'd pay a lot of money for him. He's English as well. Leicester don't sell on the cheap usually. Following said Jota wasn't too prolific in Wolves, went Liverpool and kind of went crazy. We also need wingers. I think you would say if Pepe went, we definitely need a winger. We also need midfielders. Chris said, I actually think he'd fit Arsenal's system better than Wolves. He'd do well for us, in my opinion. I'd prefer Adama, though, super sub settings. I do think Neto could play that Mikel Arteta style of football. He's technically very good, moves the ball quickly, he's sharp. I like him, I can't lie. I think 45's a little bit of a bump on the back of the injury. When you think that Jota went to Liverpool for, 25, 30 million, and Jota had a big reputation as well and hadn't been injured, I think Neto should be cheaper than 45 million. So for me, I would take Neto, 45 million. I wouldn't pay that for him. I would try and get him for like 30, 35 max. And I would look at the Jota deal and say, well, Jota went for that. I don't think Neto is ahead of Jota in terms of where he was. So we'll have to see. You make a good point there, Ish. Wolves in general don't score many goals. Back 5 tacks. They are actually going to back 4 now, which is interesting. And they're letting Connor Cody go as well. Oh, Jota was 40 million apparently. I thought it was a bit cheaper. So we'll have to see with that one. He is good, but I just think the price should be a bit lower. We're being linked with so many wingers at the moment. Neto, 45 million. Gakpo, 40 million. They're linking us with Leroy Sané, 50, 60 million. Moussa Diaby, 50, 60 million. Who is the answer? Knowing Arsenal, they'll probably go and buy somebody, completely different. Nobody saw Fabio Vieira coming to Arsenal. So we'll have to see. But like I say, if Arsenal just wanted to sign a backup and thought that, you know what, we've got Saka, we've got Martinelli, we've got Smith Rowe, we just need somebody else. I genuinely think Adama Traore at 10 million is a suitable weapon to bring off the bench. I really do think that he would be a good weapon for someone. It's no coincidence, Chelsea are being linked with him. And breaking news there, Timo Werner, that deal has been agreed, people. Timo Werner, Chelsea have agreed a deal with RB Leipzig for Timo Werner to sign on a permanent deal, £25 million. Turkish, the dream is over, my friend. No more Timo Werner to Arsenal. 25 million Timo Werner back to Leipzig. That would tell me that Chelsea probably getting a striker done somewhere. Is it going to be Aubameyang? Big up, hey, 2,500 of you in the chat. Big up to each and every one of you legends on this beautiful Monday. Arsenal doing well. Big victory. And get the signings in, though. A couple more. Pedro Neto, let me know on the chat, on the voting people, whether you would take Neto or not. Gunnar Vettel said, never really understood why as fans we care so much about the price. Does it matter if it's 35 or 40? I would take him. He's a good player. I think with Arsenal, we're a little bit unique, Gunnar Vettel. If you're a Chelsea fan or a Man City fan, you don't care about the price because there's unlimited funds there. It don't matter. You buy a player for 60 mil, doesn't work, bin him, get the next one in. With Arsenal, we've almost become accountants because Wenger, fed us all this financial talk for years and years. Oh, we can't afford, if we like the player, we will do it, and then don't sign anyone. Then he talks about the stadium. So I think every Arsenal fan, without knowing, has become a bit of a fan / accountant because we've seen Arsenal scrimping and scraping over the years, 40 million and £1 and all that rubbish. Gunnar Roller, thank you for the super chat, bro. Said Curtis, I have a sneaky fear Arteta Edu will not sign Tielemans or a quality midfielder. They're pinning their hopes on Xhaka and won't bench him. I pray I'm wrong. Listen, that for me is my biggest worry of this transfer window. And I tell you why. I could see why if we didn't do that and replace him. Number one, Xhaka signed a new deal last year. Number two, Zinchenko can play centre midfield. Right? So there's a possibility that when Tierney's fit, you can play Tierney and put Zinchenko in midfield. And the third one is Fabio Vieira can play in a midfield 3. Not necessarily in the double pivot, but can play in a midfield 3. So have they kind of done their midfield business right under, our eyes, but we're still thinking, they're going to go and get Tielemans. They're going to go and buy Milinkovic-Savic. It would not surprise me if Arsenal don't buy a centre midfielder. And that is my biggest worry of this transfer window. It really is. We're being linked with. How many times can we be linked with Yuri Tielemans before we actually get the deal done? So, yeah, that is my worry. I'm going to end the poll. Let's see where we're at with that one, people. Would you take Pedro Neto for 45 million? 51% of you say yes. 49% of you say no. So, very close there. I have to admit, I like Neto. If we sign Neto, I would be pleased with that signing. 45 million. 5-10 million more than I think we should be paying for him. But honestly, if we signed him, I like him. I think he's a very good player. And this market is a bit of a strange one right now. It really is. Look at United, the players they're buying. Been used to seeing United buy, Pogba's and players of that top level. They're buying Arnautovic and players like that. Strange market. It really is. Big up Gunnar Roller, though. Jake said we didn't have a quality sub to bring on. It felt like Friday. He definitely didn't trust Pepe or Nelson or, players like that. And Ketia was there. I think he just thought 10 minutes, have the run around. So we need a couple more. Daniel Eck put the Kroenkes under pressure to spend. Yeah, possibly. Arsenal are going to put a 50 million bid in for Tielemans. Nah, you don't even need to pay 50 million for him. You'd get him for 30. JME, the realist, said Sane is the real deal. If we could get him, would be a fantastic signing. Can you imagine a front three of Jesus, Saka and Sane? I'm a big fan of Leroy Sané. I don't know if I'm still picturing Leroy Sané at Manchester City ripping people apart. A lot of people were saying in the comments the last couple of days that Sané is not that same player anymore at Bayern Munich. So some of you have probably seen a lot more of him than me. Another link we're being linked with, is Jeremy Pino, who he plays over there in Spain. He plays for Villarreal, 19 years of age. I don't believe this one. There's a report that Arsenal have made an offer of around 40 million for him. Let me bring this on the screen. I mean, he's 19 years of age. I don't believe it. The source doesn't look very good. And for me, again, it wouldn't surprise you, would it? Arsenal linked with all these wingers and we signed someone we weren't even speaking about. But Jeremy Pino, 19 years of age, plays over there in Spain for Villarreal. And our former manager, of course, Unai Emery, 6 goals, 4 assists last season. In his breakthrough season, really, the year before, 3 goals. Apparently, they want 70 million euros for him. For me, it's a non-starter. He's not worth that kind of money. He is a tidy player, but that for me is just too big of a risk. I don't believe it. I think it's, Darren. I think it's a HP sauce. I think it's a tomato ketchup link. I don't believe it at all. 60 million euros they want, not 70 million. He's a decent young player. For me, absolutely no way am I signing him above some of the other wingers, your Gakpos, your Netos, your Leroy Sanés, your Diabys. So I'm not buying into this. And I agree, Matthew, Martinelli at that similar age is a better winger. So for me, I didn't even really want to speak about him much, so I just thought I'd bring the story up. But Jeremy Pino being linked, I don't see it happening. I think it's tomato sauce, as Darren said. Anyway, moving on, people. I mean, would it be a transfer show without talking about that Belgium centre midfielder, that Leicester midfielder? Now, I've got breaking news, people. Breaking news. Yuri Tielemans will be at the Emirates on Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. It's confirmed. Here we go. Fabrizio Romano. Not because he's going to be in an Arsenal shirt, though. Leicester play against Arsenal at the Emirates on Saturday, and he'll no doubt be in a Leicester shirt. Now, it's interesting. I watched the game highlights yesterday, when they played Brentford. I thought he played quite well. What I saw, I didn't watch the full game. I'm sure people who watch the full game will be able to tell you how good he played. I think he hit the post, got on the ball a few times. It's just interesting that a player we're being linked with is coming to the Emirates this week. Do Arsenal use that as an opportunity to get the deal done? Do we sign him before he plays? Will Leicester say you can't sign him until after this weekend? Are we even interested in him? I don't know about this one. I'm starting to feel nervous about this one. I felt certain we were going to sign him. Now I'm thinking we might not even sign a midfielder. Interesting that he's been their captain. They're trying to sweet him up, that is for sure. Hey, apologies if I got anyone. I told you nothing but facts. He will be at the Emirates on Saturday. We'll be in a Leicester shirt in midfield. Ben said, I watched the full game and he was decent. Bumpy Johnson, show him around the ground, done deal. You know what? It's interesting. What you really want, you want him to come to the game, get battered, and look at Arsenal and think, I just want to play for them. Listen, he wants to play for us anyway. But you just want to give him that final, nod that, listen, you need to come here. Let's get this deal done. But also, he probably needs to have a good game as well. I'm just worried. I'm worried that we're not going to sign a midfielder. But I'm hopeful. I just think we need to sell a couple more. Obviously, Lucas Torreira left yesterday, joined Galatasaray. Hopefully, that's freeing up wages to get him in. Big up Joe, who said, big up from South Texas, Curtis. I'm honestly more convinced in Prem-proven players as opposed to players from other leagues. Neto would be a great addition. I do think you should always look to sign players from your own league so the transition is easier, but doesn't always guarantee success. But I know what you're saying. It seems like an easier transition. Matthew said Curtis Shaw better than Luke Shaw. Listen, I seen Trossard and them man ripping him apart yesterday. So, yeah, I totally agree with you. Nimbo said Curtisio Shamano, tapping merchant. Curtis Shaw. Hey, we're moving, people. Big up Marty Freeman. Hope you're well, bro. Hope you are well. We thought we weren't getting Partey. That worked out well, so I still think we'll get Tielemans. Yeah, I hear you on that. I think we get Tielemans late. I think we still have to get rid of a couple players. I still think the wage bill's too high. Still think Hector Bellerin, Pablo Mari. Pablo Mari earns 70k a week. Bellerin 120 with bonuses. That's another two that need to come off the wage bill. Obviously, we've got rid of Nuno, Patino, Balogun, Guendouzi, Torreira, Leno. So we have got rid of a few. I think we go for him late in the window. But for me, if we sign a winger and don't sign a centre midfielder, I don't think the window is complete where we need it to be. Ainsley as well, yeah, that's another one that definitely needs to be moved on. So daily Yuri Tielemans, I'm sure we'll be talking about him for the next couple of weeks. Hardly said, Curtis, what if Zinchenko is actually very good in that midfield position? Then we have a different conversation. But still, I would still like to buy a midfielder, even if Zinchenko is good, because it gives you more options. Then you can say, right, Zinchenko, Xhaka, Partey, Yuri Tielemans, and you've got your backups of El Neni and Sambi Lokonga. 6 midfielders is fine when you're in that many competitions. Daily Yuri, man, I'm telling you. Daily Yuri. Was Ainsley even on the bench? I think he was. Was at the Palace game. What could happen with him? I think he still may leave before the window closes. That is for sure. Greg said, El Messi isn't the depth answer we're looking for. Need Yuri. Totally agree. It's not good enough. Anthony said, do you think Trossard could do a job at Arsenal? Experience wouldn't impact Martinelli's development. Reminds me of Arshavin. He's good, He's kind of goes under the radar, Trossard. Gets in the Belgium squad. And he's quite small, low centre of gravity. I think he's good. Lucas said, Tielemans, I can't see it happening. I mean, I hope it does. Remember when we turned down 20 to 30 mil offer from Ainsley? Yeah, man. He was in the England squad. There was hype around him. Turned down a very good offer for him. And I think there's people at Arsenal probably regretting that one right now. A quick conversation about a couple of our players, people. Nuno Tavares. The dog man himself scored yesterday on his full debut for Marseille. They won 4-1 against Reims, who Balogun scored for them. Balogun scored for Reims. Nuno Tavares scored for Marseille. 4-1 victory for Marseille. And listen, great to see Nuno in the team. He played left wing back. They played 3 at the back. He played left wing back, played the full 90 minutes next to Guendouzi, who was next to him, and scored a goal. So big him up, man. Won the game, scored a goal. Hopefully he develops and comes back a good player. 2 options. You either sell him for a suitable profit, or you bring him back and you've got a very good attacking fullback. Either way is a win-win situation. And big up Balogun, going to the French league. It's not a great team that he's playing for. And scored on his debut. So big him up as well. Want to see these guys, doing well. We know that Saliba, for all the criticism we had of Arteta, it looks as if these loans have worked for him, no matter what you think. So, yeah, we have to give credit where credit's due in that sense, to be honest. And we'll have to see. Now, this is an interesting one. One last bit of transfer news regarding Arsenal bringing a player in. Now, as you all know, I had Ben Jacobs on the show a few weeks ago. He had a fantastic interview out with Juan Laporta at Barcelona, so big him up on that. Now, Ben Jacobs has said about Moussa Diaby. Now, he said Arsenal's interest in Moussa Diaby is not totally new, been on the radar since earlier in the window without ever moving. Diaby has said he will stay at Leverkusen. They want a minimum of 55 million. Leverkusen want to keep him, but nothing advanced, but one to watch. So I am going to try and get Ben Jacobs back on the show sometime before the transfer window closes. And obviously, we'll talk more about that. One thing I have to say, when we did the Leroy Sané, Moussa Diaby comparison on one of the pre-recorded shows the other day, I think more people were in favour of Diaby than they were of Leroy Sané. The general feeling was that this guy is a complete live wire and someone we should be going for. I have to admit, I haven't seen enough of Diaby to make a complete review of how good he is. I've seen him a few times. He's small, he's quick, he's sharp, scored goals last season. I still couldn't completely say how good he is. But like I said, maybe I've got that Leroy Sané from Manchester City in my head, and maybe he's not that player anymore. Diaby is the real deal, said Chris. Diaby gives me Mane vibe, said Darren. Original Slim said Diaby has got tech. Nimbo said he's very direct. Dre said, I haven't seen this guy play. Is he another Pepe? I mean, let's hope not. King Darwin said Bundesliga tax. Mr. Smith, Diaby would cost twice as much as Gakpo, so why should we go for Diaby and not Gakpo? Is Gakpo better than Diaby, You're better off paying 60 million, 55 million for a top winger who's going to be good than 40 million for a guy that maybe flops. It's about who we think is the better player. So that, we'll have to see. King's Football said, big up Big C, I would take Sané any day of the week. I'm not sure about Diaby. Very rash. I have to admit, I'm not totally sure of him. And at 55 million, it worries me. Where Sané, I've just got this feeling there's still a top player in there. But as the injury, held him back. So Diaby looks as if he is on the radar. Adam said Diaby and Vieira in midfield. History Channel settings. Yeah, roll back the years. Ghosted said Diaby is better than Gakpo and 4 years younger. Clement said, I can't make a judgment on Diaby yet as I don't watch Bundesliga much compared to the Premier League. I hope he reads it. Brazi, big up. I don't know if he had a previous comment that I've missed. Diaby can be the Mane for Arsenal. Listen, if he's anywhere near Sadio Mane, it's an unbelievable deal. Norton Cuffy signed a new deal for Arsenal. Good young prospect. Hopefully he can become a very good right back or right wing back for Arsenal. So, yeah, we'll have to see with that one, people. Not too much else going off. Hector Bellerin's agent apparently is on his way to London to have a meeting with Arsenal to try and finalise a move away from the club to Real Betis. So that one looks as if that one is drawing ever closer, people. And that's about that for the day, people. We'll get a few comments in and then we'll round up. We've been on for just about an hour. Phil said, I still think we need a target man. I agree. I'd like to see us bring a 6 foot plus striker in. Previous comment, Big C. I'm hearing that the mystery winger is the 18-year-old Neymarinho from Santos. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it wouldn't surprise you. Remember when we signed, what was the guy called? Messi. No, we signed Meso or something instead. Yeah, typical. Namesake, but not quite. Omar said Aubameyang at left wing, anyone? Can you imagine if Aubameyang came back? You're a disgrace for that as well, Omar, because you was the first one slandering him last season. We ain't forgot, Omar. The streets don't forget. First Face said Tielemans is a deadline day signing. It's already done. Deal made with Sky to get views on deadline day. It wouldn't surprise me, That wouldn't surprise me if we signed Tielemans on deadline day, because I just can't understand why nobody else has bought him. Doesn't want to sign a new contract at Leicester. Very good player. United need a midfielder. Other clubs have looked at him. Why are they all staying away from him? It's as if his agent is saying he's going to Arsenal late in August, so there's no point coming in for him. Yeah, timeout settings, man, I'm telling you. Falilu, what do you think about Darwin Núñez? I think he's a very good player. I like him. I think he's a serious baller. I think Haaland scores more than him, but I think he's a very good player. I would have liked him at Arsenal. That is for sure. Definitely good. What else you got to say, people? Rashford. Oh, yeah, I was bigging up Rashford. One, I saying I'd take him. He was stinking out the place yesterday again. But as I said, I think he needs a different environment. Some players, they have to leave, you know. Darwin Noodles. Oh, dear. I think he's good, man. Harla said Darwin Núñez, superstar. Toby said, to be fair, if a bigger club than Arsenal said to him, run your contract down, we'll sign you on a free next year, that could also be the case. That's true. That's true. Can you time yourself out if possible? Oh, no. That name is outrageous. You're getting a 3-minute timeout just for banter. Man called me Nketiah Shaw. That's outrageous. The slander is, it's unforgivable. That is unforgivable. You need 3 minutes on the naughty step for that one to consider your actions. You're an absolute disgrace. As Drogba said, it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. It's too early in the week for that kind of banter. I have to warm up. You catch me on a Thursday, Friday when I'm into the week. On a Monday, middle of the day, man's calling me Nketiah Shaw. No respect. None. None whatsoever. But, you know, I'm here for it. I'm all here for the banter. I'll take it. That's elite banter. I can't lie. You caught me on the back foot there. I wasn't ready for that. You know, I'm just throwing the jab and you threw a big right hook. Caught me on the jaw, man. I weren't ready for that. Over 2K watching. Can we hit 1,000 likes? Yeah, man. Big up. Make sure you subscribe as well. Gunnar Roller, thank you very much again. Said we should have signed Skamaka ahead of West Ham. 40 million. Probably wanted to start. Would have been difficult to get him. I think he wanted first team football. Joshua and Nketiah Shaw. Eddie, my guy. Hey. Listen, man, you baited me, man. You done me dirty there, but I respect it. It's great banter. I'm all for the banter. You know me, people. Chelsea is planning on making a third bid for Fofana. Leicester rejected 60 million and 70 million. He'll end up at Chelsea. As much as I, banter Chelsea and stuff, he's going to want to go there. They've got dough. They're in the Champions League. They won the Champions League, a year ago or 2 years ago, whatever it was. Fofana ends up at Chelsea, in my opinion. Nimbo said, comment on Lisandro Dwarftine. Listen, he didn't look great yesterday. That was a welcome to the Premier League. And let me tell you, he's going to have harder games than that. He's going to have way more difficult games than that. Even next week, they got Brentford away. You know, a man like Ivan Toney will bully him next week. So it's going to be a tough one, that. Yeah, I think could be a difficult season. Hector Bellerin. Oh, yeah, we got an exclusive here, people. Someone just put it in the comments. Forgive me who said that. I'm still thrown off from the fact you're calling me Nketiah. I'm shell shocked. Hector Bellerin pictured at the airport, people. And are they sponsored by Kappa, Real Betis? I'm not sure, but looks as if he could be on his way out, people. I have to say, Hecky. Safe flight, mate. But it's time to go, mate. As the great man Claude once said, it's time to go. Get Hector out of here, mate. You've planted enough trees. Get yourself out. Cheers, mate. We'll save that wage as well. Don't think we're going to get a lot of money for him. But we'll have to see. Apparently, Hector Bellerin's been seen at an airport. So there you go, people. That's that. Listen, I'm out of here, people. Thank you very much for tuning in. 2,500 of you in the chat. Fantastic stream today. Dua Lipa. Man said Dua Lipa's on his way out of it. Listen, I'm sure they can plant trees over there. And bye-bye, Becky B. But yeah, looking forward to seeing who we can bring in. Man said safe flight. End the stream, Dave. I'm done. Listen, I wished him well. Big him up, man. Safe flight. But listen, thank you very much for tuning in today. Great stream. First day of the week. Looking forward to the game at the weekend. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, comment afterwards if you're watching again. Hopefully, I would love to see Arsenal get a deal done this week. But I do think we're going to be more concentrating on getting Bellerin and Pablo Mari and maybe Ainsley Maitland-Niles out of the door to save wages. And I think we'll make our 1 or 2 signings towards the end of the window. Yeah, man. Big up, everyone. Man's calling me Nketiah Shaw. I'm shell-shocked. I think you're an absolute disgrace, and I hope you get relegated, in the words of Ty. Big up, everyone, for tuning in. Enjoy your week. Start it well. And, let's hope Arsenal get another victory on Saturday. Thanks very much for tuning in. Take care, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bless.